I'm back again, ranking Gym Leader and Elite Four members' designs in Pokemon. I've already done this for Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn, which means Sinnoh is up next. From what I can tell, it feels like Sinnoh is a lot of people's favorite generation, which means it'll be interesting to see how you all feel about my list. Don't be afraid to tell me who your favorite design from the games is in the comments, and let's get started.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 13, Aaron. I think Aaron might have one of my least favorite designs in all of Pokemon. The giant ahoge in his hair looks dumb. I hate all the black and orange in his outfit that does nothing for his bug typing. I hate how his shirt is always a little too short, while his hair color and general style is nice enough. At the end of the day, this outfit is just a tank top and jeans. A tank top and jeans in a terrible color. Aaron looks like a random trainer, not an Elite Four member. There are plenty of interesting bug types to base his design on in this generation, and instead they just went with clearance section at JCPenney's.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 12, Bertha. I love Bertha as a character. Her potentially being related to Agatha is a lot of fun, and having a ground-type user be a calm, nice old lady is a fun way to approach the type. But unfortunately, that cool gimmick is what ends up hurting her design so much. With the scarf and coat, Bertha looks more like she uses ice than anything else, and the outfit isn't even anything special, having just as much rando NPC energy as Aaron had. I suppose the color of her outfit is reminiscent of her female Hippowdon, but I can't help but find myself wishing she was wearing more tans to help convey her ground typing.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 11, Candice. Let's all hope the comment section isn't just filled with Candice blank fit in your mouth jokes, cause really Candice isn't worth that much attention from you guys. I wish I liked Candice's look more than I do, but she just doesn't look like she uses ice-type Pokemon. This color of blue, paired with how not snow-appropriate this look is, gives me water vibes. Though, I will say I do think it's funny how NPCs mention how Candice looks like she'd be cold in-game.
It's cold outside, but I'm still looking like a daddy because a hoe never gets cold.
I'm pretty sure she's a teacher, but she looks more like a student with a miniskirt and jacket tied around her waist. I'm fine with her braid ponytail things, but I've always thought the one lock of hair in the front looked goofy. So it's annoying because I do think this is a cute design. The colors look great together too, it's just I feel like it's not doing what all it should be doing for the gym leader.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 10, Byron. I'm gonna be upfront with this one, Byron just looks like a shitty version of Roark. The two being father and son is really neato, but Byron's design just ends up feeling kinda lazy. Messy, gross hair, torn pants for no reason, weird cape. Byron looks homeless. His score is bolstered in the personality department, cause he does look like an older version of Roark, and I think that's a big reason why it's easy to intuit what type he uses, but in general, I think there's just way more we could have done with the man with the steel body.
We are a family, aren't we? I'm the dad, he's the pet, and you're
the dad? No. Come on, if anyone's the father figure, it's me.
No, I even keep little pictures of us in the house wallet, see? That's not you.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 9, Volkner. Volkner would have ranked higher if he was in an earlier generation. His hair and fashion slaps of Johto vibes, but we're not in Johto anymore. These games were on the DS. They came out in 2006. This old school 90s anime sense of fashion is charming in its own right, but it means Volkner falls behind his other, more elaborate contemporaries. I'm also gonna take this time to mention how it seems like no one on the Pokemon team seems to know how to draw Volkner. His face and hair specifically just never look quite right, except for this really cool picture for Masters EX. I do like Volkner a lot. I had a little crush on him when I first played this game. It just feels like he's falling a bit short of having a truly great design.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 8, Maylene. Maylene's a lot of fun. While I ragged on Aaron for his simple getup, it totally works for Maylene here, since this is actually applicable attire for her role as the fighting type leader. And after 3 generations of strong boys, making the fighting type gym leader a cute little girl who can still kick your ass is hilarious. The first time. I'm not gonna knock Maylene points for this because she started the trend of female fighting type trainers are twiggy little girls. Moving forward, however, I will be less forgiving of the trope, just like how it's boring that so many of the guys are just strong dude wearing a gi. But like I said, Maylene started the trend and she does it perfectly, and specifically, I'm glad her pink hair plays into it, being a typically feminine color, but fitting right in with the brick reds used for the fighting type.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 7, Roark. Roark may look like Silver wearing a hat, but that's not the worst collection of words to use when designing someone. I think my favorite part about Roark's design is just how overt his rock typing is. While other characters on this list get the type of the Pokemon they use across with things like accessories or color palettes, Roark just straight up is a construction worker. Hard hat and high-vis suit locked and loaded to push the underground miner vibe all over the player, and comparing him to his dad really lets you see how far short Byron fell when it came to his design. Roark is dressed appropriately for in-universe reasons and to convey information to the player. Byron is just copying Roark's look, but messy. And while we're making comparisons, I think it's worth mentioning that while I had a little crush on Volkner when I was younger, I had a much bigger crush on Roark, and that's what gets you put higher on the list.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 6. Lucian. Lucian is so cool. He plays with the psychic aesthetic that his predecessors established, but updated it in a modern way, like how I wish Volkner had. He reads so similar to Sabrina and Will that of course you immediately know he's gonna use psychic Pokemon, even though he's one of the few who can't actually do any psychic magic stuff himself, he just likes to read.
Is there anything better than pussy? Yes, a really good book.
Though I will say that if you aren't familiar with the previous games, you may be at a loss when guessing his type. Like how we learned with Steven last time, just a suit doesn't convey a lot. I think the thing that really elevates Lucian's design from being good to great is his sunglasses. They didn't need to be tinted, they could have just been normal glasses, but no, they committed to it and he's way cooler because of it.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 5. Crasher Wake. Who doesn't love Crasher Wake? He's hilarious in the best way and feels like a pair with Brawly as the two mix and match their Pokemon type and interests. I do think Crasher Wake conveys his water typing a bit better than Brawly did with his fighting types. It definitely helps that you battle Maylene before Crasher Wake, meaning you know he won't also use fighting type Pokemon despite his luchador aesthetic, but also his color palette does a lot of good work for it too, especially when you see him next to his signature Floatzel. The outfit's pretty simple, but it's not like a wrestler needs a lot going on with their look. If you added anything or took anything away, the design would suffer for it. It's simply great already.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 4. Gardenia. If I think of Sinnoh, I think of Gardenia first. Her design's just so iconic, a perfect silhouette, balancing her hair with the poncho and shorts. The colors are great together and placed expertly across the design, and you never lose her grass typing. She's got a gardener park ranger vibe with the shorts and boots, but the poncho on her shoulders give her an air of importance, like she's leader of the gardeners. She's such a fun, spunky take on a type that could often lead to more flower princess designs, though I think that would be pretty fly to see too. There's a reason why she's one of the most memorable characters from this game to me. You just don't forget a great design like this.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 3. Flint. When I'm looking for personality in a design, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. Even without a clear job like Crasher Wake or Roark, Flint oozes personality with his fashion sense. Fashionable and hip with his jewelry and suspenders hanging off his hips, but also easygoing enough to be rocking the flip-flops.
So I'm sitting there, barbecue sauce on my titties.
It's also pretty well established by now that, if anything, Game Freak knows how to color their fire-type leaders. With his bright-ass hair and shirt, there's only 2 things that can come to mind: fire or McDonald's, wrapped up in an afro that is simply iconic in a world of characters whose hair can be pretty samey. It's all just chef's kiss.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 2. Fantina. Fantina very nearly took the number 1 spot, which surprised me because while I've always liked her design well enough, I wouldn't have said it was anything particularly special before making this list. It's a very pretty dress and iconic hairstyle, all cohesively put together. The simple accessory on her hip immediately evokes the feeling of Drifblim and other ghost-type Pokemon she uses. It's a very unique silhouette and feel amongst the leaders. No one else has this strong opera vibe to them the way Fantina does, and that opera vibe makes sense. She's a coordinator too, meaning she's ready to get on stage and participate in a contest and would fit right in there as well. And similar to Flint, we're getting so much personality from her. Every image you can find of Fantina, you immediately understand what kind of character she is. Fantina's design is stunning, and she would have won if it weren't for what is perhaps the most obvious top pick of the region.
Who's that Pokemon?
Number 1. Cynthia. I don't think anyone's surprised here. Cynthia has one of the most iconic designs in Pokemon. Even people who don't interact with the property can identify her, and for good reason. This long blonde hair paired with her all-black jacket and suit is imposing. She looks important. She looks powerful. This is the sort of vibe that is fitting someone with the title of champion. Not to mention it gives her a strong, identifiable silhouette too, and the fuzzy elements on the sleeves help keep the jacket from feeling too simple without also overcomplicating the look. Cynthia is perhaps the best example of how it's okay to design a character to just wear a bunch of the same color. You just have to be smart about it. I do think if one didn't know someone could have a varied team, they could assume she uses dark type Pokemon, not only because of all the black in the look, but because the yellow elements are a bit evocative of Umbreon, but I think that generally she's done a great job of not representing one element too hard. But her hair accessories do still have a similar look to her Garchomp's head wing things, which is really nice, and I think the ensemble works really well with her affinity for mythology. A cool jacket and long hair and one eye covered. She's mysterious. No wonder she's studying the mysteries of the region. I've spent a decent amount of time justifying Cynthia's place here at the top, but really, I don't think anyone needed convincing. A design this great speaks for itself, and Cynthia's is simply flawless. And there we have it, Sinnoh's Pokemon League ranked. To recap, a lot of the design's biggest flaws was that they were just sort of boring. There's a good amount of potential husbandos in the region, and we still don't have a fella taking the #1 spot yet, but I mean come on, they didn't stand a chance against what might be the best design of the franchise. It's always fun getting to break down the looks of a region, and I hope you had fun too. I'm nearly at the halfway point of the generation, so hopefully you drop in again once I get to the next one. But that's gonna be it for now. Have a good one.